So in this picture, you can see Putin here in the Kremlin talking with Klaus Schwab in Davos, Switzerland. And this might have been very well the moment on which Klaus Schwab said, okay, Vladdy, you can go on with your Ukraine war. Go ahead. You got a green light. But first, something else, which is, of course, also related to Switzerland and the Swiss, and for which you should see this video here, made by Chris Hampton and Wolf Clan Media, entitled Bug Wargate, Big Pharma, Switzerland and Organized Crime 2022. For the reasons of censorship, I had to replace the C word in the title with Bug Wargate, as the C word risks my video being taken off, as only the big media corporations are allowed to pronounce the word without risking further censorship consequences. So here is the title here. I'm not going to pronounce that. And this is on the website. Here are their websites. So you have to watch it here, the video on this thing here. Rich Planet TV. So here it is on Rich Planet TV, show number 296, and it's 1 hour, so that's part 1, and there's also the part 2. It's altogether 2 hours. Chris Hampton. It says in the film that the two biggest pharmaceutical and chemical companies in the world are both by this tiny country in the Alps. Their names are Roche and Novartis, and Roche is the biggest. Where I always thought that Novartis was the biggest, which I explain in this 2020 film here, about the various criminal activities of Novartis, and Novartis having a virus laboratory in China in the area of the 2019 virus outbreak. So here's the title, and it's on my channel, Homeland Security. You see, here they have in China, these ones here, Novartis, they have a virus laboratory, exactly the same place where the outbreak in 2019 took place. So it explains in the Wolf Clan Media film that there is a huge conflict of interest through which the Swiss Roche company made themselves not just billions but trillions of dollars. As the PCR Wu-flu testing machines belong to the Swiss Roche company, with the whole of humanity being forced to make the Wu-flu PCR tests legalized by all those gangster politicians coming together also in the same country of Switzerland, who are all working for some multinational company from Switzerland and its various lobbies, meaning that the Swiss Roche company had the PCR virus testing machine ready before 2019 Wu-flu, so it just needed a worldwide bug to make some easy bucks and trillions of dollars fraud profit. So go watch that film. Chris is a good guy who also wants a better world, and I was happy to finally find someone like Chris Hampton who has also realized that there's something rotten in the state of Switzerland. I'm quite sure that all the Russian rumors about those biolabs in the Ukraine are just fairy tales, made by those whom you can see here, who don't want you to think about Switzerland as the center of all crimes against humanity. And it's here where I wanted to explain you the Swiss connection to the Ukraine war, as in Ukraine war made in Switzerland. Our masters just flipped the switch from one day to the other. From one day you didn't hear anything anymore about the thing to the left starting with the C, and all of a sudden all talks were about the war. And the whole Ukraine war is a distraction of something very important that happened only 4 days before the beginning of Putin's Prussian war on the Ukraine, starting on February 24th, 2022. So, just for the record, I show you here one more time the 2022 Russian invasion of the Ukraine. Russia invaded Ukraine on February 24th, 2022. So I'm going to show you what happened on February 20th and what triggered the Ukraine war, the reason of the Ukraine war, which is made in Switzerland. So 4 days earlier, on February 20th, 2022, a huge financial scandal related to the Putin's pals and the Swiss banks erupted by the name of Swiss Secret in French, meaning Swiss secrets, which is the largest ever leak from a major Swiss bank, involving more than $100 billion from over 30,000 clients of the Swiss bank by the name of Credit Suisse, and therefore the name of the scandal called Swiss Secret or Swiss Secrets. So here you can read about it, Swiss Secrets. On February 20th, 2022, the Süddeutsche Zeitung reported that over a year ago it had received secret data through a secure digital mailbox on more than 30,000 Credit Suisse bank customers, etc. And it goes, it's a leak, details of more than $100 billion. So February 2022. So this is the name of the bank here, Credit Suisse. That's why the name Swiss Secrets or Swiss Secret, same thing. Swiss is the name for Switzerland in French, like the Sisters of Isis, remember? Les Sœurs Suisse, Sœur Isis, the Sisters of Isis. And so this is only 4 days before the war. And I've been telling you all the time since more than 11 years now on YouTube that every war gets organized and decided out of Switzerland. Every single major war, even the small ones, it gets always decided in Switzerland. So here we can see another perfect example. So I made videos about it, like the Nobility World Wars and the Swiss Beast, Home of the Devil, in which I give all the proofs that Swaziland, you know, the beast of the Alps, and every war gets decided there. And now we can see it so clearly with Putin and the World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab and Zelensky. They're all there. It always comes out of Switzerland, people, believe me, because Switzerland was founded by the Knights Templars. And you see the dates here, February 20th, 2021, only 4 days before they decided to cover it all up with a major war. And actually, on the very day, the Germans and their Süddeutsche Zeitung newspaper and the OCCRP, Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project, were supposed to have a live broadcast about it on the internet on February 24th, 2020 at 1800 hours Central European time. Then the Ukraine war started, and nobody talked about the biggest Swiss banking scandal ever, no more. And you can see it here. On February 24th, 1800 hours Central European time, they were going to talk about Credit Suisse here and the Swiss secrets. And this, dear people, is the reason of the Ukraine war and the exact day and time it started, to cover this up. And as a matter of fact, nobody ever talked about it anymore ever since. On the list are a lot of dictators, aristocrats, drug lords, mafia bosses, and a lot of Putin pals, like the Belarusian Alexei Aleksin, a close associate of the Belarusian dictator Lukashenko. Another Putin pal is the Syrian Abdul Halim Kadam, or the Venezuelan Luis Carlos de Leon, an aristocrat, and the Venezuelan Nervis Villalobos. So here at the Swiss Secrets website, and again February 20th, 4 days before the Ukrainian war. So here it says notable people named. So Abdelaziz Bouteflika, another dictator, and as Putin, I mean, he's full in the Middle East, you know, in Syria and all that. It's not the Russian people, really. And King Abdullah of Jordan, aristocrats, and the Queen Rania. Look, does she look Arabic? I don't know. Oh, here he is, Alexei Aleksin, a Belarusian businessman who's closely associated with Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko. In summer 2021, the European Union, USA, Canada and Switzerland imposed sanctions on Aleksin as a wallet of Lukashenko. So that's where the money goes from, the Belarusian people, who are also a victim of it all. So they would lose all their money, you know, if this would have come out. So it needed a little war, yeah, in the Ukraine, which will be over soon, I think. You know, it's not going to be a third world war. It's just a distraction. And here's the other one, Alexander Lukashenko, the dictator. It's all they're all Freemasons, Knights Templars, and you know, you name it. Yeah, Hashim Yavan Bakht they're all pals of Putin and Lukashenko. They all know each other, you know. And here, Haji Saifullah Khan Bangash. He was the Minister of Finance. So yeah, he's there where the money is, you know. So this is how he got hold of the money of the people. Oh yeah, this is the House of Bourbon. Actually, I think it's Bourbon, the two Sicilies, and he's a pretender to the French throne. You know, it's the nobility. And look at the Templars cross around his neck, a white Templars cross with a crown over it. It's all aristocracy, dictators. Anas al-Fiki, Egyptian politician, Ivan Guta, Ukrainian. He had moved over 200 million into shell companies, etc., etc. Ukrainian agricultural baron. There he is, Abdul Halim Kadam. He was a Syrian politician, the vice president of Syria, high commissioner to Lebanon, and he was a loyalist of Assad. And they're all pals of Putin. Putin was in Syria. I mean, you just have to look at the Wagner group. Where, in what countries have they been fighting or terrorizing the people, rather, who are fighting for their justice, you know, in certain countries, and don't want their money being stolen. So then they send in the Wagner group, and all these countries, you know, they're all pals of Mr. Putin, of course. Zahid Ali Akbar Khan, engineer research laboratories, a lieutenant general. Vakar Ahmed Khan in the Senate. McDonald's, Pakistan, a businessman, a sultan, another aristocrat, yeah, Sultan Ali Lakhani. They're all on the list, and many others. There are 30,000 people on the list. Can you imagine? This list is a bomb, you know, and they didn't want further talks about it. Luis Carlos de Leon, you know, de Leon, it means he's an aristocrat. Former Prime Minister of the Ukraine, Lazarenko. So he was probably under, yeah, this guy was under the other dictator, like in the Ukraine, the one who was the president at the time of the Euro Maidan, Ronald Lee Fuchshu, a chairman of the stock exchange, you know, that they all know where the money is. Well, Marcos, well, he's very corrupt, a dictator, a kleptocrat, that means he's stealing, you know. His wife, same, they're all very corrupt, known for this. Hisham Talat Mustafa, he took 800 million, and it's all Credit Suisse. So again, that's why they call it the Swiss secrets. Gamal al-Din Mohammed Hosni al-Sayyad Mubarak. Well, that's another aristocratic name. It says World Economic Forum behind the picture. You can see that. Said Kair, the intelligence, you know, they all go for the key positions. So they can keep the people in hostage. Rana Mubashir, a journalist. Khaled Nezar, a general, and his father was an officer in the French army. And here Akhtar Abdur Rahman, another general. They're all, and he's from the ISI, the secret intelligence of Pakistan. Billy Rautenbach. We get to the South Africans here. This is, well, we don't say Zimbabwe, we say Rhodesia. Zimbabwe is not a good name. It's not the real name. Kosim Roba, Tajikistan, well, I mean, Radulovic, a Serbian drug lord. They're all, you know, the Swissies, they're like drug lords, you know, give them a lot of money. And the Swiss are proud of it, you know, of their banks, you know. It's about the only thing they have, wealth and banks, you know. For the rest, it's empty, you know, it's just like a spiritual, mental hole, you know, there's nothing there. It's empty. It's only for the rich and it's only about money. For the rest, it's a boring, empty, not free place. So what was he? Hussein Salem, a businessman from Egypt. And of course, the list is far much longer than this here. It's 30,000 people. And I guess 30,000 people, they haven't even been through it all, you know, it's so much. Armen Sarkisian, you all see the name, the syllable Sar in his name, meaning the king or pharaoh, like in a sarcophagus, or Caesar, the Tsar. So this is another aristocrat. He was the prime minister of Armenia. They all go for all these pharaohs. They're all on the key positions, and then they go stealing from the people. You know, I mean that's what the aristocracy has always been doing. Eduard Seidel, a German businessman, the biggest bribe scandal in German history. Here we got Alvaro Sabrino, an Angolan banker. So he's got a Portuguese name because Angola was a Portuguese colony, and yeah, I was sent there in the war when the Portuguese withdrew from their colonies in 1966. Then the Russians came, and it was during the Cold War. So South Africa said, well, we don't want those Russians right next to us because they promised the Angolan people to come with agricultural like help and tractors and all that. And agricultural machines, but they came with tanks and helicopters, and so a 23-year war started off from 1966 to 1989. That was the end of the Soviet era in 1989. Then the Russians, they withdrew, and which is called the Border Wars, and well, he laundered 5.7 billion. Here. Then we got James Soong, another from the People's First Party in Taiwan, from the Taiwan frigate scandal with France. Omar Suleiman, a general intelligence officer, you know, God knows how many people he tortured. The vice president of Egypt, and he was in the intelligence, just like Mr. Putin himself. And Nadezhda Tokayeva, First Lady of Kazakhstan. It's a funny country anyway, Kazakhstan. Remember how the Russians were there just recently, you know, like in, what was it, January? Vasif Talibov, Azerbaijan, another authoritarian ruler of the Nakhichevan Autonomous Republic. And here's, I never heard of this, so it's some sort of a, next to Armenia, a Islamic republic, who are not really very Islamic. So Antonio Velarda is from the Ndrangheta. Remember how I made this video about it, how they have the same rituals, satanic blood rituals like the Navy SEALs and the Knights Templars and the Freemasons. Calabria, there's the Ka in it, you know, meaning the soul when you're still alive, like in America and Canada. All these, they're all pharaonic names, the origins, yeah. And here, Nervis Villalobos, he funneled almost 25 million and 11.5 million euros through Credit Suisse, through Andorra. That's a principality in the Pyrenees, in between the mountains, in between France and Spain, where you can buy cheap stuff because they don't have any, no taxes being paid. Well, here you got Hugo Chavez. He's also on the list. You know, they all got nice smiles, and then they steal everything off you. And Bruno Wang, a businessman and a philanthropist. Okay, difficult word. And you know, they earn a lot of money, and then they just give like 0.01%. They give it away, so everybody thinks, oh, he's harmless and what a nice person, you know. They always do this, so they sort of bribe us with it, you know. And well, here the rest. And here are some other Swiss leaks here from 2015. You got the Paradise Papers from 2017, the Pandora Papers. It's all related to Switzerland, eh? This is even that long ago. I mean, have you heard about it? I haven't. They just, you know, it's all hidden under the Panama Papers. Well, we heard about that one. And now we got banking in Switzerland. So, people, this is the base of all evil. You know, I've been telling you this, you know, and they just want to hide it and rub it under the carpet. So it needed a little war in the Ukraine, which is going to end soon. Mark my words, it's not going to be a world war or something. It's just they want a new system. As I told you in my previous videos, they want to mix everything up, and it's the agenda, and then give everyone the bug war poison of Pharaoh. The list of criminals, dictators, oligarchs, aristocrats, and polytricksters of the Swiss secrets scandal also corresponds with the list of countries where Putin's private Wagner oligarch army has been active in order to protect dictators and drug dealers, aristocrats, and the rest. So this is, in fact, it says here, join Wagner, join PMC, private military company Wagner, to protect the peace and tranquility of some civilians from bandits and terrorists. Well, this is inverse speech, of course, it's a lie. It's exactly the other way around. You know, they always lie. All these politicians. It's a politician army, you know, of the oligarchs. You know, so this is a complete lie. In fact, the Wagner Group, it attacks the civilians, and it protects bandits, oligarchs, and terrorists. People from the same countries the Wagner Group were active in can be found on the Swiss secrets list, as it's the aim of Pharaoh's nobility to parasite on humanity and steal from entire nations and peoples with the help of Swaziland, which is Ali Baba's cave of these pharaonic robber barons. Look, I almost made this film almost 10 years ago, in 2014. Ukraine crisis. Rich Russians move their money to Switzerland. For fear of sanctions, many wealthy Russians now move their money to Switzerland, being a neutral country. Now it's party time for the Swiss private banking industry, based on information collected from Swiss top banksters. bankers, sorry. So here you can see this. It's from May 10th, 2014 on my channel Gatsevrats. Here's the title: Octagon orders and Putin obeys. This is how it is. So, and as Putin himself in 2014 had already $2 billion frauded dollars in the Swiss banks, I suppose the Prussian Putin is also on the list somewhere, and probably under another name. I already showed it here in my latest film, The Black Prince of Prussia, here on the same channel, Giureh, about Putin. Already 10 years ago, he was having $2 billion in Switzerland. Yeah, and this is apart from the Swiss secrets scandal. This is being written today. How Swiss markets help pay for Russia's war in the Ukraine. And commodity markets are in the spotlight as Russia keeps selling its oil and gas through specialized dealers in Switzerland. The business brings in billions of dollars that could be used to fight the war in the Ukraine. So commodities are in fact products that haven't been harvested yet, like oil and gas is still in the ground, or like wheat in the Ukraine, which is going to be very expensive because the people in Ukraine and maybe in Russia as well, they can't sow the wheat now, so there won't be any harvest. So the wheat which isn't there yet, that has to be like should be harvested like in October this year. This is called a commodity on the stock exchange. Yeah. So there's a lot of speculations going on with commodities. And commodities can bring down the entire stock exchange and bring another financial crisis, which might be very well be the case because of the oil, gas and wheat commodities, which are going to be very unstable now. So here you can read it once more. Revealed: Credit Suisse League unmasks criminals, fraudsters and corrupt politicians. Swiss secrets. So the Swiss cross is like turned around and it opened the lock. Here's Switzerland. It's a mountain full of money. So therefore, because of the Swiss secret scandal, Vladdy the liar knew that he was gonna lose everything he had robbed from the Russian people and put on Swiss bank accounts in the motherland of the financial elite. So it needed a distraction in order to suffocate this huge financial bank affair. So 4 days later, Putin started this strategically senseless Ukraine war in order to rub this latest Swiss banking scandal under the carpet, and for some other reasons I already mentioned to you. Thank you, Switzerland, for making this war possible. The art of distraction, and mission accomplished, and the whole world only talking about the Ukraine war distraction, with the world media liars leading the general public opinion to follow this diversion and diversionary war. So the global financial elite and oligarchs like Putin and his pals have all the time to transfer their accumulated wealth from the Swiss banks, from their Swiss caves and Swiss safes, to a safer place Thus, nobody talking about the Swiss secrets scandal anymore. Swissy, you've got a lot of blood on your hands again. Of innocent European children getting butchered because of you, Swissy. With anybody who dares to talk about it goes to jail, gets terrorized and tortured, as you did to me and my family, Swissy. For Pharaoh's world elite, their various dictators, oligarchs, and their gangster base in the Alps, the deaths of thousands of Ukrainians and hundreds of slaughtered Ukrainian children is just a mere collateral damage and a small price to pay for the safety of their wealth and treasures of this murderous gang ruling over humanity. The Swiss secrets Credit Suisse Bank used to have another name before 1997, which was Schweizerische Kreditanstalt, with a logo reminding of a Nazi swastika. So here you see their logo, which they had before and during the Second World War, you see. Here it says Schweizerische Kreditanstalt. And they had another big scandal in the 1990s about the jaywalker bank accounts, which they wanted to keep. And they had to pay out 1 or 2 billion, I think 1 billion. So, and after that, I think it was in the same year, 1997, they changed this swastika sort of logo towards the their new logo. They're real smart. They're always into hiding, the Swissies, right? Like the hidden bank, the hidden hand of the Freemasons. So Schweizerische Kreditanstalt. So you see this here, they got both names. Here in German, Schweizerische Kreditanstalt. Here they got their swastika logo with a lot of squares in it, for the square and compass. And the French name has always been Credit Suisse, the Swiss secrets. And this is from 1990, and they changed the name and the logo until to the French name, Credit Suisse, in 1997. And this is from 1990. And I think the scandal with the jaywalker bank accounts out of the Nazi era, with all these people murdered by the Nazis, and the Swiss didn't want to give it back. I think it was in the same year as from 1997 or around there. And then they completely changed the logo. Of course, the Nazis and Mr. Hitler, they adored the logo, of course, and also the Freemasons, because it got a lot of squares in it. The compass should be here as well somewhere, but I should have to study it. And of course, it's in red and white Knights Templar colors. So here you can read it. So it was not only the Credit Suisse here, but here the Union Bank of Switzerland, called UBS. But the year was 1997, and the Credit Suisse, they were deep into it as well. They were a bit smarter. They already destroyed the papers. And so this guy here, Christoph Maye, is a Swiss-American whistleblower and former security professional. In 1997, Maye illegally disclosed to third parties that the Swiss bank Union Bank of Switzerland was destroying documentation of, I can't pronounce it, sorry, after a federal arrest warrant, etc. It was a huge scandal. Oh yeah, they had to pay 1.25 billion dollars to the jaywalkers. So of course I can't pronounce this word here, because if I do, my video might be censored by the jaywalker censorship. And so this guy, he visited me once in Bern when I was still in Switzerland. Really nice guy. We had dinner together, and good person. And so we stayed the whole day. Here you see, Credit Suisse, they're involved in it anyway, they're all involved in it. And we got here the Swiss Bankers Association. I wonder what kind of a logo they have. Might be interesting to know that. Well, let's have a look then. So it's the same year when they changed this sort of a swastika logo. You understand? Always, sly bankers, Oh, look, they got a red dot. That's all, the sun. And the red dot for the, meaning the compass. So, because this is Amun-Ra. And so there should be the square as well, somewhere as well. But the square was already in the swastika logo. But, okay, it's not really obvious. But must be a square somewhere. And in the other one, there must be somewhere a circle referring to the compass. So when you read this Swiss Nazi propaganda about Switzerland having the lowest crime rates in the world, it is of course a lie and inverse speech, as they are in reality the biggest gangsters who ever walked on the earth. And of course, for the major crime league they play in, of Swiss banks and Swiss pharmaceutical companies, you must be able to present a so-called safe environment to attract the various criminal clients from all over the world to deposit their stolen wealth in a safe environment. Strictly held together by the authoritarian Octagon and its corrupt Swiss Nazi police and fascist Swiss authorities, who by all means have just one thing in mind, and that's to keep a low profile on a national level, abiding by the Swiss Omerta, laws of silence. It says 1 in 2 citizens in Switzerland have guns. Lowest crime rates in the world in Swaziland. Well, it really looks like paradise, doesn't it now? But they just don't talk about the major crime league they're in, eh? People, I say it again, there's only one way to stop all these wars and injustice towards humanity, and that's to entirely annihilate Switzerland. With their Nazi banks, their highly criminal pharmaceutical companies, their totally useless ONGs in Geneva, like the United Nations, the Red Cross, and the rest, and their conspirational Swiss WEF, World Economic Forum. So here we can see the former revolutionary leader Muammar Gaddafi of Libya, and I'll read it for you here. After the Swiss police accused Libyan leader, so I repeat, the Swiss police accused the Libyan leader, Gaddafi's family, of criminal activity in Switzerland. So that was a lie. As the Swiss police, they always lie, and I know them, they lied a lot towards me and my family. Then Gaddafi submitted a proposal to the United Nations to abolish Switzerland and divide it up between France, Germany, and Italy. Good idea. Just eliminate and reset the damn place called Swaziland that has already too long been the alpine base for all the world's robber barons. Enough is enough, Swissy. Let the vengeance of the revolutionary leader be upon you, Swissy. And if I, Sean Hross, must be his spell of vengeance, then so be it, Swissy. In May 2022, a few months ago, the American reporter Jack Posobiec and his entire crew got arrested in the WEF's Davos in Swaziland in order to prevent information from coming out of the most secretive of all nations. Yes, also journalists must abide by the Swiss laws of silence and Templars Omerta by their founding father Godefroy de Saint-Omerta. So for this special occasion of hindering journalists to do their work, the Swissies deployed their special WEF, World Economic Forum police, the WEF police, who are there to only defend the interests of the WEF against anyone who sticks his or her nose too deep into the WEF's ugly little Swiss secret. So this is the logo of the guys who arrested the journalists in Davos at the WEF meetings. So here is a bigger picture here. So the horns of the logo have each a half circle and form together a full circle representing the Freemason compass. So this is both a half circle and together it's a full circle for the compass. Because with a compass one can draw a circle or a semicircle. Each goat has only 3 legs for the Freemason concept of 3. You see, they only have 3 legs. There's a leg missing. You know, what's going on? There's a leg missing, eh? The Swiss are so precise, you know, they would have put here 4 legs. So this is not a mistake, it's on purpose. The 4 crystals here, there are 4 of them here, 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4 crystals below have each 4 sides for the concept of 4, representing the Freemason square. So altogether it says square and compass for the initiated. Also, the crystals look like obelisks, which is the symbol of the pharaonic domination. Pharaoh's dominating you, Mr. Jack Posobiec, and your TV crew. Pharaoh can take away your freedom and arrest you while shoving his occult logo right into your face. And here is another badge, which I'm going to show you now. Let's find a more close-up picture of the thing. So there we go, here's the other logo. So here says Ordnungsdienst. Dienst, it means service, and Ordnung, it means order. The service of the order. but here it's order, like in the sense of bringing order, not in the sense of a secret order. And here it says Graubünden, which is a canton of Switzerland, and here it says Polizei, Kantonspolizei Graubünden. So it means the canton's police of the canton of Graubünden. Grau, it means grey, and Bünden, maybe it's from the word Bündnis, meaning an alliance, the Grey Alliance, or what do you know. So this seems to be some sort of a dude here. Here's his helmet and his head. Here's his legs here. And he's got a rifle or something. I don't know what this is, like a little backpack or something. But why the circle, eh? In the way that it's, you know, like seeing it in 3D, it's also an oval, the Oval Office from the Vesica Pisces. So why the circle? I mean, kind of strange, isn't it? Well, with the compass, you know, you can make a circle. So then where's the square? Oh, look at that. Here's a square, yellow square, blue square, yellow square. So only in this part here, it says square and compass. Over the Grey Alliance, here you got the Grey Alliance, eh? Our masters are true perfectionists. Therefore, when the slaves insert their favorite movie into the DVD machine for Pharaoh's matrix of the digital world, they have to push the concept of 3 for play and make it work, because the triangle is them and side of pyramid's hierarchy. This is them, this is the side of a pyramid, it's a concept of 3. And this is us, this is the base of a pyramid, it's a concept of 4, where it says stop, you know, and here it says play, they can play. And these are the 2 columns or pillars of Yashin and Boaz for the pause. They, our masters, are the players, concept of 3, and pyramids side for play, while you are the concept of 4, square, at the bottom of the pyramid, standing for stop, because the slaves are static and stuck, who haven't even advanced in the last 2,000 years, while they are dynamic, call themselves the players, advancing in every term of the word. I've been telling you this all these years about the concept of 3 and 4. This is the concept of 3, the side, and down here, if you look at the bottom, it's a square. It's the concept of 4, the slaves, you. So, why didn't you see it, dummy? You touch it every day. You see it every day. And still, you didn't realize. This, in fact, is how hidden everything is. You see it, but you don't see it. Well, you didn't see it because of what I'm telling you here. That the players are ever more advancing, develop themselves, and get stronger by the day, while you, their slave, and the rest of your lot are ever more degenerating into sexual aberrations in your quest for comfort, heaping up material goodies and getting weaker by the day, imprisoned in your comfort zone, accepting all the players' new laws. Just think of it. The next time you lay back and enjoy the show of your own downfall, punching their occult symbols of the concept of 3 and 4 for play and stop, that Pharaoh is your master and Swaziland is his base.